Okay, we're going to get started. Thank you everyone for joining us today for our webinar this June, Security Tools DIY Edition. My name is Claudine Ting and I'm the Marketing Specialist for Client Success here at SmartSimple. So before we begin the webinar, I just wanted to send a few reminders about some upcoming SmartSimple events. Make sure you mark your calendars for Block Party New York, September 12th, Block Party San Diego, October 23rd, our biggest event of the year, Elevate San Diego, on October 23rd to the 25th. We'd be opening registrations in a couple weeks, so stand by for email notifications about this. And last but not the least, we have Block Party Copenhagen happening on November 15th. For next month, our webinars would be transitioning to Arcadia. This would be our second Q&A webinar. For those of you who are still using the classic interface, this is another opportunity for you to ask your questions about transitioning to Arcadia. We also have a webinar entitled Navigating Your Data Through Mapping, and that would be on July 16th and July 18th. So before I pass the mic to our presenter for today, just wanted to give you a reminder about some housekeeping rules for this webinar. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, make sure you type it on the chat box or on the Q&A box, and we'll be answering all your questions at the end of the presentation. Now I'm passing the mic over to Andy.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy. I'm the technical community support working with the support team. I'm here to provide more information about the password policy, system feature permission, and system visibility permission, and what to change to benefit your instance. What to expect from this webinar? I will show you where you can find the system summary, which summarizes your instance, and you can use it as a guideline for modifying your password policy, system feature, and visibility permissions. So also showed you where you can change the system or UTA feature visibility permission, and how to modify the password policy, session timeout, password link, email template, and many more. Here is the system summary, which summarizes the basic information about your instance. You can refill here your system policy, your system password policy, your system permission visibility will under the system security tab. Role field, company field will be the user and organization security matrix. Portal shortcut, which is the portal available for each role. No permission will be the permission available, the permission available for each role to send notes or create notes or to fill the notes. Next will be the password and activation policy. Here is where you can change your password policy, the password length, the capacity of the password deadline, the password expiration date, the activation, reset password email template, change password email template, invalid login log, and how to set up an invalid log intruder email alert. Let me move on to demo so I can show you more in the demo. So this is our webinar instance. Once you log into the instance, click on the menu, global settings. To find the system summary, it's under the system tab. You scroll down, and you will be able to find the system summary right under this link. Click on it. Here, we show the summary of your instance. Right now, the password policy is set as 6 for the length, and there's no capacity of the password. We will change that later on in the demo. And this tab will be the feature and the feature and the visibility permission for the whole instance. The next two tabs will be the security matrix for the company and the user role. Let's move on to the password policy. Let's go back to the global setting, security tab, and then password and activation policy. Here is the page where I showed you earlier in the slide. Right now, we have a password length of 6, but we usually recommend our client to change it to 8. I can change it to 8 right now for you to see. And the capacity for this password, there's no restriction. We can change that as well. By default, there's 3 settings. One is alphabet, the other one is alphanumeric, and the last one will be alphanumeric and special characters. You can also customize your own policy. Right now, after you click on the customize policy, there's an option drop down for uppercase, lowercase, number, and special symbol. If you enable all and put how many characters you want for this set, then the password policy below will auto-populate. Let me put 1 for each. The password policy match will auto-populate here. How do you know this is what you want? You can always click on the validate pattern. I can click here and show you. So after you click on the validate pattern, there's a pop-up window with the policy here and the password that you want to test. Right now, I have a length of 8 and uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and numbers. Let's try. Now I have 8 characters, but there's no number. There's uppercase, there's no lowercase, but there's no number or special characters. When I put in those 2 in, will pass this password policy. That's how you test your password policy. After you test, you're satisfied with your password policy, you will have to click save at the bottom, or else it won't save. Also, in this page, there's a password expiration. Right now, it says 0, so the password will not expire anytime. If you set it up to like 30 days, the password will expire in 30 days. 90 days will expire in 90 days. There's a function here that to restrict the password. Right here, I set it as name and birthday. So these 2 options, when you set your password, they will compare your password to these 2 options in your account. If they contain your name or your birthday, it will forward error say you cannot use your name or birthday as a password. At the bottom, here, password reset message. By default, in all our instance, there's a forget password option. When you click on the forget password option and enter your email, there's always a default message saying that if your email has an account in your instance, we will send to you the temporary password or a link to reset the password, which you can set the custom the message here. This is the default message. You can edit it here, change it to whatever you want here, and then click save. It will show up whenever the person trying to reset the password. Next, I will show you a new feature that promoted in the May update, which is the password change notification. This feature, it will send out an email to the users when they change the password. It will notify them that they changed the password. If they haven't changed the password, they should notify the system admin or anyone from the admin side. You can change this email template as well. Next will be intruder email alert. now we set it as the intruder logout settings. Number of attempts 3. So how to trigger this attempt is when the user trying to log in without successful, it would every time it would trigger it as once. When it passed 3, it would trigger an email, send it to the person we set here. Right now it's me. So so you will know if anyone trying to log into your system with a valid account or valid access. It will show in this email, it will show the IP address the person trying to access from, and the time, and the username. So you can take a look into it and keep this as a log and saying which user trying to access this your instance. And here is the invalid login log audit, which is the log that when users are trying to log in but without success, it will trigger a log here. So this is the testing I did earlier today. So I can show you how to trigger this log by just give me 1 second. So right here, I'm trying to access to the webinar instance. With a one password. Let's say invalid user or username or password. Come back here. Right now, the log got triggered right here. That's it for the password and activation policy. Now we will move on to the system feature permission and the visibility permissions. System feature and visibility permission is allow the setting for the system admin to personalize their instance and make various system feature available to the user in different roles. System feature permission include the delete button, create button, batch update button, Acadia mode enable, switching between Acadia to classic mode, and emulation session settings. The visibility permissions control visibility for features throughout the system. The edit button visibility for organization and user profile, and showing the note feature in the application record or the organization profile, and group email visibility. Visibility permission are available in global settings or UTA settings. I will show you more in the demos later on. Here is the UTA feature visibility permission, how it look like in the instance. The first part is the feature, and the next 3 tabs is level 1, level 2, level 3, and this is the miscellaneous visibility. Let's move on to the demo. So for the system feature permission, it's also under global settings, security tab, system feature permission. Acadia permission will be here. Right now, all these roles are enabled for the Acadia mode. In the older instance, we will also have some role here for them to switch between the Acadia and classic mode, but we're phasing out the classic mode. So in the coming up similar webinar, we will teach you how to remove this and change it to Acadia mode. Feature permission will be setting the emulation session. scroll basically here and scroll down to the midpoint, and you see enable emulation mode. Right now it's available for grant staff and system admin. This option is very useful for system admin to troubleshoot any end user issue. So only turning this on is not allow you to emulate any row, but you will also have to put in the row that you want to emulate. Here's all the row that you can emulate with system admin. Here is the system feature permission. Let me go into the UTA feature and visibility permission. Go into the UTA, click on configuration setting, security tab as well. Under UTA, the permission settings page named feature and functions permissions. Right now, the feature batch update is not enabled. I can enable it. Save. And it showed you in the UTA. Right now, the batch update button is enabled. Once I remove it, it would disable for my row. Will be disabled it. So for the visibility logic, will be this is level 1, level 2, and level 3. Level 1 right now it's just available for grant staff to create a new record. I can put my row in here. And save. And change here and reload the frame. That's a little bit slow. Just give it a second. The create new campaign buttons now is available. So the permission here also the group email here, add in. And reload frame. The group email is also available for system admin. Once I remove it, it will be disabled. I will not able to see it, and I will not able to use it. Here's a lot more options to choose from. For the feature enabled in the UTA, it's only available in that UTA. Will not available throughout the system. So you will have to go into each UTA to check if that feature is enabled or disabled for certain row. It depends how you want your instance to look like. I will show you one more thing about record lock. Let me go into here. Right now, for level 1, we have enabled the record lock. So it would display whoever locking the application or the level 1 level application. We can set it up to just say either you want to show the whole name of the user locking the application, or you can change it to just change it to not showing the name. The option is right here. anonymized record lock owner. So you want to lock the record to not showing the organization contact to see whoever is reading the record. So you will put organization contact here and click save. So I have a dummy account in this instance. Let me show you what I will see. Let me go, sorry. Sorry, let me log in. This is my dummy account, and I have one application. So I'm going to use as an admin, system admin, log into, just go into the record and log the record. This is the record. And I'm using the dummy account right now, opening the record. Sorry, just give me 1 second. So I'm in the record right now. And we load this page. Sorry. Let me go back to home. Go back to the record. Okay, so this feature is not showing, but it worked. Let me log back in again. Okay, anyway, this feature will show another user at the bottom saying log the record instead of their name, system admin, or whoever the system admin name logging the record. This is preventing the end user to feel whoever accessing the record, so they may think and they have a chance in their application or anything like that.
So Andy, just to add information to that, is this for the feature where, for example, you don't want the applicant to see that you've been reviewing their application already? Am I correct?
Yes, that's the
Okay.
You're correct.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be done with demo right here. Let's move on. Any questions?
Thanks for that, Andy. So now we're taking questions. Floor is open to everyone. Okay, I have a question here, Andy. How does the logic work in the visibility permission?
Okay, on the visibility permission, I can show you in the demo. On the visibility condition, there's always a question mark here. Mm-hmm. To never give access to anyone, for the logic, you put 1 equal to 0, so no one will have access. And if you want to give access to some person, you can either put a row here, or you can put a logic here. If you want more complexity logic, you can put the logic here and the row, but both box have to be true. So if this is saying, the logic saying status have to be equal to approve and to this certain row, then both logic have to be true in order for this button to show up.
Okay, thanks for that, Andy. Another question that I have here, how do I know which feature is visible by default?
By default, basically you can tell by the name, limit, create button. So this by default is visible. Disable will be visible as well. Enable will be not visible. There's also a list of visibility and in our wiki website. So on the wiki, you can search for visibility permission. There's a list of level 1, level 2, and the system feature where you can say which one is by default is visible and which one by default is not visible.
Okay. For a first-time SmartSimple user, the difference between system visibility permissions and system feature permissions. Let's say I'm configuring things for the first time. Do I need to fix the system feature permissions first over visibility or visibility over feature? Is there a sequence to that, or I can prioritize any?
Depend what you want, but if the feature is enabled and it's not visible for the row, then if possibly the visibility permission is not set for that row. But then if there's visible for other row but not for one user, it's possibly they have multiple row which blocking the access for it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that, Andy. Do we have other questions? Okay, hold on one second. Okay, we have another question over here. When you change the password settings, will the new settings affect existing users? For example, if the password was 6 characters, but the new settings require 8 characters, will the existing users still be able to use their old password, or will the system prompt the user to change their password?
The new policy will not affect the current user, but you can have an option to expire the password and make them to change the password when they logged in. So just 1 second. It's loading, so just give me 1 second. So once you set up your new policy, then you can click expire all password now. Then once they have to log in again, they will have to follow the new policy.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Any other questions? I just want to clarify something. When it comes to adjusting your system permissions for visibility or for your system permissions for features or visibility, once you change something on level 1, does it apply to all levels, or do you have to change those settings per level?
If you change only for level 1, it just only apply to level 1, unless you change it in the global, like the system visibility or the system feature. So if you change it in level 1, it will only apply to that level.
Okay, all right, thank you. Another question that we have here, is there a log that shows which users are accessing the system, not just invalid password attempts?
Reports, there's a session log. There's like a standard session logs report. So you can either do it like you can look from the user's contact profile and see their logs like on an individual level, or you can go to reports and there's a standard system report that should do that.
We're also joined here by our fellow technical account advisor, Jason Ewer.
Hi guys, so, this is Jason, just sitting in on the webinar. So to answer the question about the usage reports, you can report on the usage of the system in two ways. On an individual level, you can go to someone's contact profile, and as a system admin, you can see their usage of the system, like on an individual level. If you want to see it for multiple users, there's a category of reports that you can see on the screen called usage statistics. And these reports can show you the login sessions per user or per multiple users over a particular period of time.
I just want to put a pause on that one. Can we repeat how we got to the usage statistics portion again?
Sure. So what you do is, as a system admin, you go to your main menu, then you go to reports, right? And then at the top right of your screen, there's a drop down for category, like you might see in like a list view or like a field class, like that kind of thing. So just go to that drop down and it's usage statistics. So every system comes with these reports like pre-built, so you don't have to worry about making them yourself. And these reports will give you like the user logs. And if you want to really take it upon yourself to build some custom reports, there are certain data sets in the system that you can use to really get these time information.
And for those ones, if they want to get in-depth, they could definitely send an email to support@smartsimple.com.
Yeah, if you have any questions about these reports, you can always email the support line or give us a call.
I think that's all we have for today, Andy. So we can start wrapping up. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending this webinar. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to send us an email at support@smartsimple.com. We're also going to be providing a webinar recording of this webinar. If not later this week, it will be early next week. It will be up on our YouTube channel. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.